Knowing what your houseplant needs and knowing how to repot your plant successfully is the key to a healthier, longer living houseplant. And joining us now is Master Gardener Ed Sordiff, and he has some tips on how to rejuvenate your plants and make them thrive for years to come. Thank you so much for stopping by today.
Hey, Seth.
So we have a plant here, and it's self-described by you, so I'm not insulting you. You said it's a little bit messy.
Yeah, it's a little bit messy. This was shoved in the corner of the house. It hadn't been neglected. You can see there's some little bits of debris here, some browning tips from the winter that we would just take off like that and clean up.
Oh, so it's, you take the whole, if the tip
Well,
is
that
brown?
one, yeah, that one came easily off when I did it. Sometimes you can actually just take a pair of scissors. If you do have brown tips like this on different plants and you don't want it to look obvious with a flat cut like that, you will actually just go like this and make a pointy cut. And it'll heal pretty well and you won't even see it, and then it'll be nice and clean, so you have a nice clean
You mind if I try one?
Sure, go ahead.
So you just take all the tips you can get. Is there something wrong with keeping the tips, or is it purely aesthetic?
It's aesthetic. It just doesn't look that good. I mean, you know, you want a house plant to look nice, so that's one of the things you do for cleanup. Because what we're going to do, ideally, we're going to take all our house plants, except probably African violets, because it'd be too extreme for them, and we're going to put them all outside for the summer. That's going to rejuvenate them, make them feel like they're back in the tropics where most of them come from, and they'll get really thick and lush before when we take it back in the winter. It's a really good thing to do for your plants. You start off with your plants, you put them under a shade tree or a shady porch. You don't let them get direct sun, even if it says this is a full sun plant, because they're used to being in the shady house environment. So you'll start them off like that, and only do it after there's no more danger of frost. So I do this at the end of May. That's when you can bring all your plants out. Now the other thing with your plants are they've been growing on in the same pot all winter. So I was going to show you how we can try to repot and rejuvenate a plant. So I'm going to actually we're going to try to, what I do to loosen up a pot is just hit it like this. I know you've had problems in the plant past.
That's the same way that I open up a can of pasta sauce.
There you go. So I just loosened it up, and now there you can go. Now this shows really...
Look at that cross section, that's amazing.
Yeah, you can see it's really a pot-bound plant. It has all these roots everywhere. So this could use repotting. I mean, spider plants are so hardy, you really don't have to do much to them, but this will rejuvenate it.
Now, Ed, when you see a plant like this and you see that there's almost no soil left, it's all root, is that more or less a sign, though, that you should graduate it to a larger pot?
Yes, if you want a bigger plant, you can, and then all you would do is you could either go with your fingers, or you can take a tool and you can rough up the roots like this.
And that's not going to hurt it?
No, this is actually, so the roots don't keep growing in a circle and constrict themselves. This is actually letting the roots go out like that. So now if I put this whole plant, if I put that whole plant in a big pot like this, then those roots would be able to fill that pot also.
I understand.
Yeah, and you can see that this is a huge pot here, but it's not really that much larger than this. You only want about two to 3 more inches around, or one to 2 inches more space for a plant. You don't want to put a plant in too big of a pot. If it's a small pot like this, you don't want to put that plant into the next pot this size, because the extra soil that's around there will actually kind of go stale and the plant won't use it, because there's no microorganisms like and worms and things like in nature that till the soil for you. This is an artificial environment, so you want to keep it nice and tight. So now all we'd have to do is, if we were going to do that, we'd put that in there, but I don't really want a bigger plant, so what we can do is we can divide this up. So
dividing it in half or quarters? How does one do that?
You would look to see where the plants are. So each of these stems, there are these little bundles or individual plants coming up. So the best thing to do is, like with this, you can take it, if you want to just go in there and just
kind of stab it?
Yeah, hack it down, use probably 2 hands.
Oh.
I don't know if you can do it.
Oh, of course I can do it. I don't know if I can do it, actually. All the way through?
Well, as far as you can get, and actually pry it this way too. So we'll try to divide it. Okay,
we're gonna break the set doing this.
Okay, so let's see. So there we go. So you did get it.
Thank you. I've been working out.
I know, I could tell. So there we go. So there's a huge system there with the roots. All we would do is clean that up. We'd find the appropriate size pot.
So would this be the appropriate size pot?
That's too small.
So perhaps, yeah, let's bump it up a notch.
Yeah, that's actually just right. Now, if we did this one, it'd be too big.
And you're going to have that dormant soil like you were talking about earlier.
So all you have to do here is we would just, what I do is I actually use either newspaper or a paper towel.
Always put something on the bottom so the soil doesn't fall out.
Yeah, because we have all these drainage holes here. And so then this actually, when you put this inside, you can see it goes right against the drainage holes. And the water still comes through easily.
But it just slows it a little bit.
Yeah, well, it slows the water, but it goes through, but you're really trying to hold in the potting soil.
So you're just going to grab a little potting soil,
Yep.
put some on the bottom.
Yeah, put some in the bottom so you have a nice layer, at least 1 to 2 inches on the bottom. And then you just put the plant in there. There's a lot of roots here. And then all we would do is we would just start...
Just top it with some soil too?
yeah, but not right over the top, over the crown. You'd want to put it around the sides, and you'd want to actually go all the way around, and you'd want to just tuck it in with your fingers and really get it down there. Get rid of any air pockets in there so the roots won't be exposed to the air.
So Ed, if you do this right, you could never have to buy plants again.
You shouldn't, and because you're doing plants like this, you'd have neighbors that might want them, friends that might want them, and then you can exchange them. And there's even on the internet, there's plant exchanges.
You can get it, so you don't have to buy new plants. You can give them away as gifts, and you can trade them for other things too.
Yeah, other plants, other things, yeah.
This is like a money-making enterprise
It
too.
could be.
Well, thanks for the gardening tips and maybe the money-saving tips too. It's a
Okay.
pleasure to have you here.
No problem.
And for more information, all you need to do is go to mymassappeal.com later today.